Hi, welcome. My name is Marlene. Today I wanted to play with Half Magic. I have a little bit of everything. Lip liners, the little eyeshadow crayons, the Chromaddiction liquid eyeshadows, the mascaras, the glitter pills. Love these glitter pills. If there's anything from the line that I go to the most, it's the glitter pills. And some of the mouth clouds. Lip snuggles, and I think I have some lip glosses too. But let's play. Another product that I really like from the Half Magic collection that I also dip into a lot, other than the glitter pill, is the Beam Trap Light Beam and Deep Beam. It's their highlighting balm or skin illuminating balm. It's super easy to use. You can mix these to make your own color, or you can use them on their own. Oops, I went over the I went over the bronzer that I had there. Yeah, it's super pretty, not too heavy. It feels very light on the skin, and like I said, you can kind of mix these up to kind of create your own color if you need to. But I've been just going in with my fingers with everything recently. I'm gonna do all my makeup today with just my fingers too. The eyeshadows and everything, I'm just gonna blend them out with my fingers. But I like that this is very light and very buildable, and it's not like a very obvious shimmer. And it doesn't lift foundation up. I was kind of afraid that it would when I first used it, but it doesn't. And then I'll take the slightly darker one and kind of put that where my bronzer would be, just to give it a little bit of definition. Is that lighting a little better? I've been struggling with my lighting situation, but I really want the full effect of the product to come through. Alright, is that a little better? Yeah, sorry I couldn't show the full amazingness of this highlighter, but I really like it. It's my go-to daily use highlighter. I really like the way that this one looks on the skin, the way it feels. It's very creamy, but it's not greasy. It's just the right amount of emollientness that it feels very comfortable on the skin. And I think it's really cool you can build up the darker one for kind of like a bronzy effect, because I did use it up here, so I do have that little bit of glow on my temples. I could fill in a little bit more. Yeah, it's a very pretty highlighter, and it's very entry level and beginner friendly. I've been kind of trying to focus more on that aspect here on this channel because I have only been playing with makeup for a year now, and while I have learned a lot, I still do struggle with some complex formulas, and I like easy and effortless to use, and that's what I get out of the highlighter. You can pop it out of the little compostable packaging here. All of these eyeshadows and blushes came in the little compostable packaging, and then you can just pop it into one of these palettes, a magnetic palette. The pans do come out. You can remove this back sticker and then apply it to the back of these pans. Not gonna take them out because they're wedged in there pretty tightly. I had to force the blush in there. But speaking of the blushes, let's use the blushes. Yeah, the blushes are a very interesting formula. They're very squishy and kind of wet feeling, and they're very creamy. This one's probably my favorite, the purple one. And then this one is kind of like a shimmer highlighter blush hybrid thingy. As much as I want to go for the purple, because I love using the purple one, I'm going to go in with the bright pink one. And then I'm going to do a little bit of that pale salmony pink color, but I'm just going to go in with my fingers and tap that in. Just going to put it roughly where I want it. Shear it out. And I've been finding that I really like makeup that I can work, like I said, with my fingers, and that's just very easy to blend out. Like a color that bright can be a little intimidating, and it is a little scary when I put it on at first and I see like all that pigment and I'm like, crap, is it gonna stay stuck in one place, or am I gonna be able to work it out and shear it out? That's what I really like about these, especially like in my gigantic pores here. Since I don't have a primer that I use that I filled in the pores, I'd rather just use the natural oils of my skin like as my primers and like let the makeup blend in with my face oils as the day goes by, and then just let everything like blend into like one really like natural looking finish. That's my style of using makeup, or at least the way that I have adapted that it makes makeup fun and enjoyable for me, is I want it to just all kind of become one towards the end of the day. But this one is like, is also, I would also say, is very beginner friendly and very user friendly. I can obviously build this up more if I wanted to, but I'm gonna go in with the pale peach one. I'm gonna put some right here just to try to darken it up a little. I'm losing my voice. Not ideal. It's just been such a weird like weather change here. I'm in California. It was like barely even hit 100 degrees this year, and it's strange because we usually get like 110-degree weather where I'm at, and this year we probably just barely dipped our toes into the hundreds like one day this year, and now it's like all cloudy and muggy. It looks like it wants to rain. And it's not even like October yet. But it's really nice. I love the weather right now. It's just kind of like messing with me and my body, and feeling like I might be getting sick because of it. Anyways, but yes, love how easy that is to apply and to work into the skin. So if you are a beginner to makeup, or you like your makeup to just be, like I said, very effortless, I really recommend these blushes and the highlighter. I would totally repurchase these again, but I feel like I'm not going to run out of them anytime soon. Just to show you what this guy looks like, and I said I was going to avoid staying away from the purples, but this one has this like really pretty shimmer. I'm going to put some right here. I'm gonna do my eyebrows. This is the Merit Brow Pomade in the color dark brown. I don't have a lot of eyebrows right now, so this is just easy way to define them. The Half Magic does have a translucent brow pomade or brow holder. I'm not too sure what it was. I had it for a little bit. I didn't like using it. I'm not the type of person that likes clear brow products, because I don't have much eyebrow to hold in place. And this one at least has some kind of like tint to where it gives my eyebrow some kind of fullness and definition. This one's old, so it's starting to get a little crumbly. I need a new one. So as soon as I can get another one of these, I will. Just gonna leave it at that before I mess it up more. But it's a nice way to like give definition and fill in any sparseness that might be in your eyebrows. Let's play with some of the eyeshadow stuff. Now, I've learned personally for me, liquid eyeshadows are not my favorite. Just because I do have hooded eyelids. They do get greasy throughout the day. And I like really like bold eyeshadow looks. And I feel like when I try to build these up or try to get the opacity I want, I always end up using more product than I probably should or that my eyelids can handle. My eyelids can't handle too much weight of eyeshadow. I learned that lesson when I was using the Violet eye paints. Yeah, if I built them up too much to the colors that I wanted, it would just like look very heavy. All the texture on my eyelids would be super defined, and that's not what I want. So I always have to go a lot more sheer than I like to. But I'm gonna give these another try. I have this purple one called Crown Please. And it's very liquidy, but it's supposed to dry down as soon as you blend them out. This one is Mochi Tutu. I think those go good together. Let's do those. I'll do Mochi Tutu on the inner corner. And I don't have any eye primer on. And you're supposed to work with these fairly quickly so they don't dry down before you are finished blending them to where you want them to be. So I shouldn't have done both eyelids at the same time. But at least this way I'll get symmetry in my blend. And I do have their cute little fan. It's come in very handy with a lot of different products, so this one was a good purchase too. And it's been holding strong. I've only had to change the batteries on it once, but that's because I probably had old batteries in it. Now the thing that happens with these ones for me, and I don't know if you can see that, the texture on it is kind of strange. Like there's some cracking. And yeah. So it's not an ideal texture for my eyelids. You see that one's very watery. We'll just do the same method before. I'm gonna go in with another layer of Mochi Tutu. See if I can build this up a little. It's probably gonna go bad. I'm probably gonna add way too much texture to my eyelids. I don't want to give in, but I feel like I might need a brush. Now it's just lifting. It's just lifted right there. Try to fill that in using the brush. Yeah, I think using my hands or my fingers gave a lot better of a texture because this really grabbed onto any texture I had on my eyelid. But I wouldn't say this is specifically a Half Magic issue. This is just an issue that I have with liquid eyeshadows. It's not my preferred medium of color. I mean, that's pretty. It's not bad. It's just Like I said, it's not the full opacity that I want to build them up to, and my eyelids feel very sticky right now. So let's get some more product on here. The other formula that they have in these is the Chromaddiction in the shimmery shades. This one's in the color Spirit Guide. This one too, I feel like it's a little bit more difficult to build up to the color I want. Now this one has a little bit of a blue shift to it. I'm not sure if you can see that. I don't want to add blue to this, so let's find another one. Baby Bunny. Okay, this one's a little bit more... this one has a strong smell. Let's see, I'm gonna put this one... see if I could do a lower, like a liner type thing. We'll wrap it into here. It's not that these are bad. I just find that there are better ways to get a shimmer on my eyelid without getting that tightness that it'll give my skin, and then it'll start giving it a little bit of texture. So like I said, it's not that these are like super bad or anything like that. They just don't work for me. How I want to use them, there are different products that I can use for the same effect. Now let's add one of the Sparklestik eye crayons. Don't know why I struggled so much with that one. This one is in the color... where's the color on these? Oh, the Dreamies. That was really easy to apply, but I can already see an issue on my eyelids there. It's starting to break up. I'm gonna see if I can dry this down without it separating like this. It's not going to. The thing is that like I said, I kind of feel like I'm very limited to how much product I can build on my eyelids before the texture really starts to shine through or come through. I'm gonna leave that alone, and then I'm gonna try to put like a sparkly eyeshadow on top of it. Oh no, I just broke the freaking tip off trying to clean it. Okay. Now it's in the carpet, and I'm probably gonna step on it and make a big mess. See if I can use this on the waterline too. This one is in the color Beige Mystique. It's very pretty on the waterline, and this is the one way that I have been able to use this is on like little accents on the inner corner or under the eyes on my bottom lash line here, just for like a little pop of sparkle. And with this light color, you can't really tell with how it's breaking up underneath here with the texture of my eye skin. But on the top, you can really tell that it's breaking up. I mean, it's not terrible. Like, you probably can't really tell too much from far away, but if you really get up close in there, you can really tell. Ooh, you know what? To kind of match that little beige color, I'm gonna go in with this one. I think this one is called Pretty Pebble or something like that. That is gorgeous. Let's see, let's do that. I got it to transfer up here by accident on my finger, so I'm just going to work it all the way up there, but I'm going to have to go in with the brush to make it a little bit more precise. No shame in using brushes, I just need to clean mine, and I've been having fun challenging myself to just do everything by hand or with my hands and my fingers. I don't know, just because it's funner that way for me, at least for right now. And that line kind of got destroyed, the eyelid line that I had going, so I'm going to go back in with this shimmer shadow and let it match up with the line I just made with the powdered eyeshadow. Alright, so that's what we got going on right now. Right now, the magic flick, I thought it would be easy for me to use, but the angle sometimes kind of does mess me up, the little jagged edge here. But before I move on, not the most beginner user friendly product for someone that's not too experienced with makeup, and also for somebody that has hooded eyelids and textured skin. You might struggle a little bit with this. These ones are fun, but like same thing, I kind of have issues with it, with the texture on my skin. Still need to play with them more, but every time I pick these up to play with them, I have some kind of issue with it settling in my lines here. Like it's starting to do here. And the texture there, but of course, you know, I'll use these again with without eyeshadow, just on bare eyelids, and I'll report back to see how they behave, because I actually haven't used those on their own, because I always have a feeling that they're just not gonna stay, so I don't bother. These shimmery ones, like I said, they do have a really cool effect, and the sharpness of the brush does give you somewhat control over the line that you can make on the eye, or like where you want the product to go. But as you can see here, it's kind of like there's not how do I say this? As you can see here, there might be a little bit too much right here on this edge, making a little bit too much of a sharp edge. And you don't have too much time to play with before these dry out. These are dried out right now and they're not going anywhere, which is cool, I guess. It's nice that they're not going anywhere, but I prefer a powdered shimmer like this one over something like this. Anyways, let's go in with the magic flick. This one I kind of mess up on sometimes because it does seem like it's going to be very easy to stamp on, but sometimes it'll bleed through the little tiny lines I have on my eyelid skin, and then I have to overcorrect. Oops, that's on me. My eyes are tired. And my hands are shaky. Pretty much it picks up into the texture of my eyelids, and then it messes up my clean line. But that does make a huge difference though in how wide and open my eyes look. It's just this little texture here. Okay, now the cool thing that I like about the glitter pills is that, as jagged and messed up as this eyeliner is right now, is that you can take the glitter pills and kind of just hide all those little imperfections by just covering it with sparkles. I have a gold one and I have this pink one. This one is Sweet Prince. And then this one is Money Please.
Money please.
But I feel like I already have a lot of pink going on, so I'm going to go in with Money Please. Now this isn't totally going to get rid of the black eyeliner. It's still going to kind of show through. But it is going to make my line look less messed up. So for somebody who can't draw perfect eyeliner lines, this is a gift. I prefer doing a glittery, like, liquid eyeliner. I'll either use these ones or the Lethal Cosmetics liquid eyeliners from the Avatar Lost Airbender collection. I'll use these instead of a crayon pencil liner or a liquid eyeliner, because it's a lot easier for me to control. And then, like I said, the lines don't even need to be perfect because the glitter particles in this are already like kind of jagged as it is, so it just looks intentional if the line isn't perfect. Using my non-dominant hand here, so this requires a little bit more focus. See, looks way more polished. So if you're a beginner and don't have the steadiest hands, an easy way to correct or kind of make that eyeliner look a little bit more polished and more elevated, these glitter pills are awesome. You can also use these all across the entire eyelid. My dumbass didn't let that dry, so it transferred up here, but we will fix that. That too is with any little mistake or error or imperfection that you do create with your makeup. I see it as a fun task or a fun challenge to see how can I cover this up and how can I incorporate this into part of the makeup. Because I feel like every time I do something like that, I learn something at least from it. I learn not to open my eyelids again if the product is still dry. But then I'll do it again because I'm impatient. And the way that that shimmer liquid eyeshadow is blending into the rest of it, I don't like it. So I'm going to find some kind of way to also smooth or even that jagged line up. And then also the harsh line that I have here with all these three products into the matte liquid eyeshadows, I also don't like that. So I'm going to find some way to also lessen the harshness of that line. Let's see, what other products do we have left to play with? I think I'm going to have to hide this one with the powder eyeshadow just because I think it's a smoother finish. It is like a little bit less transparent too, so that we do have that. I know this one's like a little cooler because it's like less chalky. And it just kind of has like a more wet look, but like I said, I'm just kind of not liking the way that it interacts here with the rest of it. I do have the glitter puck and the color Dooamine Sparkle. Trying to resist the urge, but some of that gold got into the rest of the eyeshadow look, and I don't know if I should just tap that out over the top of everything. It can be diffused into a sheer sparkle, and it can also be built up, but I'm going to go ahead and just tap this all over just to make it look a little bit more cohesive. And like the sparkle from that gold eyeliner is intentional. Bring it all the way up to the brow bone. I mean, I liked it better before, but then I'm going to do it a little bit more intense on the inner corner. And it's important to keep the little sponge in here so that it doesn't dry out the product when it's being stored. I'm not too sure if you're supposed to re-wet it or not. I have to look that up. Mine hasn't gotten to the point where it's like super dry. Alright, now that jagged edge I was talking about, that's like right there. I can either go in with like a graphic liner and like fill that in, or there's the more hassle-free way, of the face gems. Now, I really like the face gems. It does feel like, I mean, initially it seems like it's too much until you use them, and then you're like, it doesn't feel like it's too over the top. It's just enough. I don't know, like, it feels like it might be thought that face gems are only for festivals or for special occasions and stuff like that, but I find myself really enjoying playing with these and adding them into looks just cause they're fun. Hopefully I have enough. I'm running out of them and then I'm just dropping them everywhere. Now I won't have to look at that super harsh line there because I have pretty little gems. Oh, there goes one. Girl, I'm losing all of them. Where'd you go? Just have to hope I have enough for the full look. And I haven't tried to save these or reuse these because I don't have any like adhesive that's safe for like the eye area where I would be allowed to reuse these. I also use these on my nails too, the little the face gems, and I'll just paint over them with like a clear topper. And then I have these little stickers that I got from Mooncat from their little Powerpuff Girls collection. I want to put on some stickers. These are intended for nails, but if I use my face gems for my nails, why can't I borrow my nail stickers for my eye looks? Just put a little pink heart at the end. A little star. These are also my tweezers for my Hollow Taco tweezers for nail stuff. Yep, little hearts at the end. Is this too much? Maybe, but I'm just doing this makeup for fun and I'm just gonna be around the house, but it's totally worth it. Now let me put on some mascara. I feel like this purple one, like I wanted to really show up on my eyelids or on my eyelashes, but it only really oh, that's interesting. But there's a peek of the color. I feel like it doesn't show up as much. You have to catch it in like certain angles of the light for the purple to show up, at least on my eyes. I don't know, what do you think? It's actually pretty noticeable. I've also found that like wiggling the mascara on the wand on the lashes, like dragging it side to side, kind of gets the most product onto the eyelashes. At least on the lower ones. The top ones it's a little bit more tricky because then they all smush up together. And then I don't have that nice separation. And I don't want clumps on my top lashes. But these ones are a little bit more easier to separate with the brush because there's not a lot of lash going on down here. I'm going to use the black mascara on top. Now this mascara, including the colored ones, I really like the mascaras. They're easy to wash off. They give a nice definition to my eyelashes and I think it really does add the length of my lashes. Volume not so much, but at least they're like defined. And like I said, the pro of it, of how easy it washes off. Because this is a tubing mascara, so super easy for cleanup later. I don't like to use fake lashes, and I think my eyelashes are naturally long enough as it is, so I like a mascara that does a decent job at defining my eyelashes. Hands down, my favorite one is the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize Mascara. That one is perfection. It makes my eyelashes look full and lengthened, but just like the fullness it gives it is like ridiculous. And it's just one coat. I only like to do one coat of mascara because then it just gets very unmanageable for me. I'll take some of the crumbs out. pretty decent, right? In the length. Oh, I got mascara on my nose. Why didn't anyone tell me? Okay, tricky side. Alright, so that's the eye look. That's all I'm gonna mess with it. Now let's move on to lips. Now they do have a few different formulas. They have the lip glosses, the magic drips. This one is Problem Child. It's a black lip gloss. I've used it here before. This one, so the thing I like with my lip glosses is I like my lip glosses to be very wet. And this one feels like it's a little bit more on the dry side. Yeah, I feel like your lip gloss is less gloopy and gloppy and oh, what's it called? One moment, please. Let me gather my thoughts. As you can see, that's a very pretty color on its own. And I think it complements the look we got going on here really nicely. It's very wearable for a black lip gloss. And it's not heavy. So I think what I'm trying to say is that when I wear lip gloss, I want to feel like I'm wearing lip gloss. Like I want to feel that layer of gloss on my lips. And I want it to stay like, not sticky. Like I don't like lip glosses that when you like touch your lips you can see like the lines and stuff of the product like connecting. Not like that tacky, but I like it to feel like I'm wearing a gloss. This one is very light and comfortable and it's hydrating. I guess it's just preference in my lip glosses. There's a couple of other black glittery lip glosses that I like a little bit better than this, but it's not a bad lip gloss at all. And like I said, it's very gorgeous. Looks intimidating, but it is so not. If anything, it looks more purpley. Now they also have the mouth clouds. This one is a matte lipstick. Yeah, let's do the mouth cloud. I'm gonna use their lip liners. They also have lip liners. This one is, hopefully I didn't switch the caps off because they're dual-ended lip liners. This one is in Up and Atom and Biz Plan. That is Up and Atom. And then this one is Biz Plan. I'm gonna use Biz Plan on for the Angel Rave mouth cloud that I swatched here earlier. And then these are like firm and solid, like dry kind of, not dry, how do I put this? They stay where you put them. I feel like there are some lip liners that I've used where they're a little bit more creamy, smudge out a little better. These ones stay where you put them. So obviously that's going to make a nice little barrier so that the rest of your lip product doesn't travel where you don't want it to. So very cute color if you're looking for like a hot pink. Both of these are very like hot pink. One's just a little bit more mauvey and the other one's kind of like a little bit more red leaning hot pink. Anyways, let's go on with the mouth cloud Angel Rave. These are so comfortable. And I was worried because my lips had gotten kind of dry. This has made my lips feel very moisturized, conditioned, they're comfortable. This doesn't totally dry out, but it does leave a stain behind. But it's like this like almost kind of lip oil type feeling. It's not like silicone-y, it's like it has that comfortable slip of like lip oil. I really like this color combination, maybe not with this eye look, but I really like how those two complement each other. Yeah, if you're looking for a way to wear a bold color that's comfortable, not drying, and the color payout is ridiculous, these are worth looking into. I have a few other colors, maybe I'll swatch them. As for ease of use for the lip liners and the mouth clouds, I would say these are pretty entry level, super easy to use. What better way than to exercise your boldness than with some really easy to use products? And so these don't totally dry down, but they do leave behind a tint the lip gloss. Like, come on, like that is the easiest way to go for a statement or kind of like bold lip without, you know, committing too much to a lipstick. This does leave little sparkle particles behind if you do wipe it off. I have 2 more lip products there. The rest of it I'll play with it in different videos, and then we'll do a quick recap. But I have these Frost lipsticks. This one is in they're called Crystal Butters. I have it in the color Cinnawich, and then I have these lip Snuggles. They're high pigment oil balms. This one is in the color Hail to the Cocoa. That lip liner is like not wanting to come off. It is claiming its territory. Dang, come on. Gotta play with other colors. Micellar water to help encourage that to come off. Alright, let's do the lip, what do they call these? Crystal Butter first. And Cinnawich. Now this looks a little bit more burgundy on me because of the stain that it left behind with all the other colors. And of course it's going to look different on everybody. But it's a very coppery looking color. It does have a little bit of kind of like burgundy shifts to it. And even in the bullet it does look a little bit burgundy. But I feel like if I didn't have the lip stains it might look a little less red. But this is like super comfortable. If you need a fun lip balm with some frost in it. Alright, this lip Snuggle. I'm gonna use Sugar Plum Bitch. Kind of like this wine looking color. And these really grab onto the lips like they want to stay, and they really stay put exactly where you put them. So this one does not leave too much room for error, but I find that it is a lot easier to have them stay where you put them, because sometimes when I'm working with the creamier lip liner, it just goes everywhere and then I'm just fighting it and I'm just going back in and out, and it's easier to work with something that stays put, and then you just can go over and even it out to balance it out with the other side. I don't know if that makes much sense, but and I know the whole gimmick with these is the fluffiness. If you can focus, please. Of this like nice fluffy texture on your lips when applying it. But the way I like to apply my lip glosses or lip balms with any lip balm, like these Naturium ones that I really like, I always take them and then I deposit them onto the back of my hand, and then I'll just apply with my finger. So that's what I'm going to do with these ones. I don't know, I just feel like it keeps the applicator cleaner, and I don't want like dry skin to like end up collecting in the little nozzle. I know I'm like overthinking it and I'm being like super paranoid, but that's just kind of how I do it. Even when I do these, I wipe them off with a paper towel before I dip it back in, just because I don't want like the dead skin cells going back into the tube. But anyways, going on for that. That is really pigmented. This one is Hail to the Cocoa. I'm just going to use what I deposited on here on my lips. It tastes a little funky. Not that you're supposed to be tasting it, but I really like the finish on this. It looks very vampy with how dark and pigmented that lip oil is. I think this is the most pigmented lip oil balm that I've ever used. The only thing I can't really gloss over is the fact that it just has a funky aftertaste when it gets in your mouth. You totally did not see me just lick my hand to taste it. Yeah, it has this kind of like bitter like aftertaste when it gets in your mouth. So that would be my only critique with these, but I think they look gorgeous. We sampled a little of everything. I want to play with this stuff a lot more, and I will. You'll probably gonna see me reach back into some of these things a lot more. I've been trying to go through and like use up the makeup that I do have. I've been having this stuff, but I haven't really been playing it specifically on camera. These though I have, but let's go over the stuff really quick, just so you can see the way the blush has just kind of like made itself part of my skin. I really enjoy that. Alright, so let's recap Half Magic. It's a really fun brand, especially if you love playing with glitter and sparkles and just bold colors. If you like to be a little bit more on the creative side, of course you can make this stuff all look very tame and minimalist, but for me it was a very kind of gateway makeup brand into getting into the more bold stuff. A lot of the stuff I kind of bought before I started playing with makeup here on YouTube. That's why I haven't really played with it here, but I've kind of been trying to force myself to play with the makeup that I do have, and I'm gonna go on a no-buy until I finish everything that I have, because it's been super overwhelming to look at all this makeup. But anyways, let's recap the products I would totally repurchase and the products that I think are super effortless and easy to use. I'm gonna use that a lot. Starting with the powders in here. Blushes are super fun, super easy to build up, really easy to blend into the skin. They don't sit into my gigantic pores. They're very easy to, like I said, kind of like diffuse outwards. If you think you put on too much, it's not too much. You're going to be able to work it out very easily. Like I said, throughout the day, it feels like it just becomes part of my skin, and I really, really love that. I love that I could put these on with my fingers. Like I said, I'm really pro like ease of use. These sparkly shadows are super fun to put on as a topper and just to like really elevate a look. Come on, focus, please. Yeah, just look at how fun and like the color payoff. These are, I will say, coming from mostly playing with indie makeup and indie eyeshadows, these do have a little bit of kind of like a chalkiness look to them. I don't think it's anything that you would really see on the skin, but just like looking at it on my finger, in my hands, these do have a little bit more of a chalkiness than indie eyeshadows, but indie eyeshadows are just, they're special. If you know, you know. But yeah, if you know indie makeup and you've been playing with indie eyeshadows, you kind of know that they're very special. I really particularly love the Belly Bar formula is like hands down my like most favorite. We're not talking about them right now. That's just one thing that I have noticed with these ones, is that sometimes they do have a little bit of kind of like a powderiness to them, a chalkiness, if you will. All of these products, love, and I would totally recommend to anybody just getting into makeup, especially if you want to go a little bit more bold into your look. Super effortless and easy to use. And I would totally repurchase those again. Same with the highlighting balm, or skin illuminating balm as they call it. This too is like really easy to build up. It sits really nicely on the skin. I have had no issue with it lifting my foundation or my like blush when I do have it on beforehand. I always just swipe it through with a clean paper towel just to clean any of the top residue. I don't know, I have this thing where like dipping back into the product with my finger. I like to keep it kind of clean. Hopefully that's doing its thing by keeping them clean. I don't know, but would totally recommend the Skin Illuminating Balm. Really have been enjoying that, especially like on days where I'm just going to the grocery store with my boyfriend and I'm just wearing like sunscreen. I'll tap on a little just to kind of give myself a little bit of a pop to my cheeks. Mascaras. 3 really fun colors. Like I said, these ones, the bottom one, I have the purple on right now. I feel like you really wouldn't be able to notice that from afar, but when you get up close or you're in like just the right lighting, it's a very pretty effect. The main thing that I like about these is that they are very lengthening. As it says here, it's a lengthening mascara. Not much volume, but yes, for sure, a lot of lengthening and a lot of definition. And I also like that they are tubing mascara, so they are super easy to wash off. I like my mascara to come off easily. I don't like torturing my eyelashes by pulling on them too much or just overworking too much on my eyes to get them off, to get any product off of my eyes. Really good mascara. I would totally buy those again. Very good everyday mascara. The glitter puck. I haven't had much use for it, and I don't think I really used it too much. I don't think I gave it its fair shot here. So I'll probably play with this again. But it's very buildable. It's very easy to shear out. Where can I put this? I'm going to put a little bit right here. product's very easy to work with. It gives a nice shimmer to wherever you want to have a nice little pop of shimmer. I like adding shimmer to my brow bone, inner corner. Of course, if I didn't have what I already have on my cheeks, I would use it as like a highlighter. Top of the brow bones too. If you're into wearing kind of like low cut tops, you could very easily put a little bit of that shimmer onto the collarbones, and I think it would have like a really cute effect. I wouldn't totally repurchase this again just because I do have other things or other highlighters that I can kind of use for the same purposes. But if you were kind of like traveling light and you wanted to have something shimmery that's multi-purpose for your eyes and for your highlight and for like body shimmer, this would be like a cool like one and go thing. The glitter pills, I love these glitter pills. I cannot get enough of these. I would totally repurchase these again. If they make more colors, that'd be super cool. But I think this is an easy way to do eyeliner, and then it doesn't have to be perfect. And you can cover up a lot of your mistakes if your eyeliner lines isn't totally like precise and perfect. This is a super easy way to cover that up and to have a nice bold eyeliner. I really love these. These ones are super fun, and they have helped me so much with doing eyeliner, because if not, I can't imagine how many times I would have been like, well, the look is ruined. Might as well just take it all off when my really shaky hands like get sloppy with the eyeliner and I want to give up. Just throw one of these on. Eyeliner problem fixed. So those ones I really love, and I would totally recommend those to anybody that is not so like experienced with makeup. They're very easy and very fun to use, and it's a very easy way to get very creative with your makeup. Like I said, this one you can also put it over your entire eyelid on top of like a base eyeshadow. I would use a powder eyeshadow for these, just to tap that on and build that up. Very easy to create a shimmery, sparkly eyeshadow look with that. The Magic Flik, like I said, there are probably easier eyeliners that I could use. This isn't as firm as you'd like it to. It's very bendy and pliable, but since it is a very liquidy product, it can set into lines, and it does set into my like little fine lines on my eyelids. So it travels and then things get messy. Dries kind of quickly, so you have to work quickly with it, because if not, when you do try to go over the already dried product, it's gonna kind of ruin the part that you have already stamped on. So you kind of have to have precision. I know it's specifically made with the intent of making it easier to do your eyeliner. I have a much easier time using this style of pen liners. This one's from Unearthly Cosmetics, but it's a lot easier to stamp because the surface is a lot smaller. And then this one, you can go over already dried eyeliner and it's not gonna like disturb the eyeliner that you already set down. You can build it up. So when I do want like a clean-ish black eyeliner, I go for this one. These ones I need to play more with, the Sparklestiks. I want to use these on my bare eyelids just to see if I do have a better experience with them. I feel like they kind of grab onto the texture of my eyelid skin, and it's not fun for me. Same with the Chromaddiction eyeshadows, the matte ones and the sparkly ones. It's not my favorite formula to work with, but that's just a personal preference for me. I find that liquid eyeshadows don't work the best with my eye type, my texture skin. I feel like they are kind of starting to sag. I'm usually okay with powder. I can stack as much powder as I want on my eyelids and they'll be fine, but when it comes to liquid eyeshadows, it really weighs them down, and I can feel it. And then these kind of dry down a little sticky for me, so it just kind of feels like my eyelids are constantly trying to like stick in the hood. So I don't enjoy these, and I wouldn't repurchase these again. I would also maybe be cautious if you are new to makeup. These might not be as streamlined and easy to use. I don't know. That's the best I could put it. For me, these have not been a smooth, easy experience with these. I'm still learning how to work with them. But I probably wouldn't purchase them again because, like I said, it's just not my favorite way to apply eyeshadow. I like my eyeshadow to be easy, and the easiest way I have found to play with eyeshadow is with powdered eyeshadows. These lip liners mean business. They will stay where you put them and they don't budge. I would totally repurchase these again on the fact that they do have so many fun colors and they are dual-ended, so you get 2 lip liners in one. I know some people like to smudge out their lip liner. This is not a lip liner that you would be able to smudge, but I think this pairs really nicely with the mouth clouds. I really like these mouth clouds too. It's a matte finish, but it's so comfortable and so moisturizing. I really enjoy wearing these for the fun colors. I love it when makeup companies make really fun lip colors to use. This hot pink one here. This one's a red. I think these are both reds. Yeah, we'll play with these more later. Lip glosses, fun. I just kind of like the ones where they stay very emollient and wet still on the lips after the initial application. This is a little bit more on the drier side. Not saying that these are dry, they're still lip glosses, but when I rub my lips together, I can tell that they've kind of been wanting to set where I put them. But this is a gorgeous color. Gorgeous black lip gloss with the sparkles. Beautiful. I need to wear this more. Especially with the lip liner. I think this would look super cute with the lip liner. These lip snuggles, I've gotten used to that weird taste that I was tasting. Do wear nicely, but they do kind of start to separate and like fade out from where you put them. Now, these are comfortable, but I just kind of feel like the wear on these, I've probably had this on for as long as I've been talking for. What is that, like maybe 15-20 minutes? And I feel like it's already starting to kind of wear off of where I put it. Hey, there's a bare spot there. And it's not something that I would be able to put on without a mirror. I would have thought that since this is kind of like a lip oil, it'd be something that I could just pop off and put on without a mirror. But considering how pigmented these are, it would be a little bit difficult to stay within the lines and then to have a clean, like, border around the lips. That would be like my only thing with it. These maybe I would not purchase again just because of that. For something this pigmented, I would want it to last a little longer on the lips. Oh, the crystal butters, right? Is that what you're calling yourself? Crystal butters. Yes, the crystal butters are nice. If you're looking for a glittery, frosty lip balm, these are really nice. And they're very comfortable and very moisturizing. Just like a regular lip balm, these are nice. This component is cardboard, by the way, in case you were wondering. It's like so freaking light. I just haven't worn these enough to fully like form a proper opinion on it. Face gems. Oh, I forgot. Face gems are super fun to play with. You don't even have to do this many. I think it looked really cool when I just put that like one little face gem there on the middle, and that's all I had. If you've ever been curious about face gems, I say just play with them. Just try them. You're gonna realize that it's not that costumey feeling or that like out there. I think we should normalize face gems more and use them more, and step out daily with face gems on because they're fun. And that's probably something I will start doing now that I'm getting a little bit more braver with makeup and with my look, and I'm starting to get more into my like FU era. Yeah, I'm wearing face gems, get over it. Is it childish? I don't care. Anyways, that's my quick little playthrough, or not so quick. I feel like this took like 2 hours. But yeah, that was my little playthrough with the Half Magic products. I'm gonna play with these some more. I think I got almost all of the colors of these too, so I'm gonna find some way to make these work for me and to make it enjoyable to play with. So yeah, let me know if you want to see more of these. Alright, I hope to see you in another video, and I hope you have fun with your makeup. I highly encourage you to get creative with your mistakes and make them look intentional. Just like a lot of the time I'm playing here, I think I said in the beginning, I've only been playing with makeup like for like a year. I started playing with the makeup last year, 2024, August 2024, and I just committed. And when I play with my makeup looks, I go in knowing that things aren't going to turn out perfect and there will be mistakes, but I just roll with them. And I learn, like I said, I learned a lot from the playing with the mistakes. I know what not to do for next time, and then I'm learning what types of products, what types of textures work with my skin. So just have fun with your mistakes, have fun with your makeup.